About what? I'm not about what?
You don't want to fight.
You said I'm not about what?
You don't want to fight.
Man, go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Go ahead.
You dreaming, man. You talking in your dreams, man.
Fight.
Terence Crawford fight. I'm tired of answering questions about it. He already said millions of times that he not fighting me or looking my way. So I'm just tired of answering those questions, you know. And if a fight happened, it happened. You know, I wanted it to happen, but if not,
right now you got Boots Ennis in your weight class.
Definitely.
What do you think about him?
Oh, he's very, very talented. He's unproven, but he's very talented.
Yeah.
You know, the eye test tells it all. You know, he's got the it, you know, but we haven't seen him against any elite fighter. We've never seen him tested. So until then, you know, we just going to keep saying, oh, Boots, until he meet that fighter.
Terence and Boots just went head-to-head in a live chat, and things got wild. Boots didn't waste any time, making it clear he's ready to fight at 154 right now. But Crawford quickly shut him down, saying that at this stage of his career, he's only interested in big, legacy-defining fights.
Going back down to 154 and face Jaron Ennis, the guy who prepared Canelo Alvarez for this fight.
nope. I ain't going down one.
Another comment from Bud stirred things up even more. He said Boots hadn't faced anyone that proved he was on the same level. Fans went wild instantly because that jab wasn't just fighter talk. It drew a clear line in the sand.
Devin Eason, you could support me.
You jumped up out of my sanction body to go fight in the IBF. So what I know? If it don't matter, catch up.
Yo, he picked Devin Eason.
Catch up.
Devin Eason was way under.
You just said it don't matter. Catch up. I'm talking about before that.
He not about it. We already know he not about what he's talking about.
I'm not about what? I'm not about what?
You don't want to fight.
You said I'm not about what?
You don't want to fight.
Man, go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Go ahead.
You dream.
He made it clear he's done with tune-ups and tired of waiting on the sidelines. After that, everyone had the same thought. If these two ever sign the contract, it's going to explode. And just when things couldn't get any hotter, Boots' father, Jaron Ennis, jumped into the conversation like a dad storming into a PDA meeting, ready to set things straight.
Listen, man, listen closely. Make that fight. You know, we want that fight. You know what I mean? I said, you know, we wanted him or either Spence. It didn't make no difference. As long as we get the fight, we'll see where we come from. We ain't worrying about Crawford. We're going to clean 147 now, and then we're going to move to 154. If he there and he got a belt, we coming after him.
He definitely didn't hold back. He said, listen, we never duck Crawford. When the bill gets too high, the only thing I turn down is the thermostat. Classic words from an old-school fight dad. I also liked how he pushed back against the whole narrative, saying Crawford could have just called Boots directly instead of going through so many middlemen. It started to look like a pyramid scheme.
With Terence and Boots. That's what, you know what I mean? I said, yeah, well, if you want to fight, just let me know. That's just what Steven said, right? And they said, well, we'll call you later on. Never called him back. That's what happened. So they trying to say that we never turned the fight. I talked to Terence last night. We never turned the fight down.
It was also hilarious when Bozy told Crawford, you fought Avanesian when you could have fought us. You skipped a steak dinner and went for a happy meal. Wild, but not entirely wrong. Fans just want to see these two lions settle it in the ring, not get lost in endless talk. And if this fight really happens, you'd better bring popcorn, because there won't be a single dull round.
You fought us, but you're going to fight Avanesian. And then I said, Avanesian, you could have fought us. And then Terence said, well, Boots could have been number one. All you had to do was call us. We would have took that fight. You didn't have to fight Avanesian? Avanesian? Whatever.
Avanesian ranked in the WBO?
Way behind us. You know what I mean? So if you really wanted to fight us, you could have fought us.
And then Roy Jones Jr. stepped in with some wisdom after Bozy came out swinging, reminding everyone that Crawford could have called Boots instead of Avanesian. Roy talks boxing like no one else. He's not just a Hall of Famer. He's the cheat code.
Boots versus Terence Crawford. What does that look like?
I don't know yet, because we haven't seen Boots in against a guy that has touched him good enough to really test his chin. So that's the only thing we don't know about him yet. We don't know if he can take the real punch yet, because we haven't seen it. But as far as the skill goes, he got everything. And that fight could be a very...
Roy broke it down perfectly. He said Boots has all the tools, but we still don't know if that chin has truly been tested. You can be fast, skilled, and slick on your feet. But until a sharpshooter like Bud cracks you, no one knows if you're made of steel or glass.
As talented and has the skill level that Boots has, anything can happen, but don't get it wrong, Bud has that skill level too. So
Roy said this fight isn't just interesting, it's dangerous. One wrong move in this chess match could mean instant checkmate. And when a living highlight reel like Roy Jones Jr. says both fighters are operating at that elite level, you know it's serious. Honestly, that's why fans like us are obsessed with the idea of Crawford versus Boots. It's not just about who's faster, slicker, or stronger. It's about seeing how long the young lion can survive once the king sinks his teeth in.
Jaron Ennis didn't force his team to make this fight and say, listen, Steven, I'm signed to you and Showtime. I'm not signed to the PBC and Al Heyman. You need to do what's best for my career and make this fight happen. And he didn't do that. And the rest is history. Terence
Boots hasn't been easy to beat, but Bud is like the final boss in a video game. You can't defeat him with skill alone. You need timing, patience, and heart. This fight won't just answer whether Boots is the real deal. It'll reveal if Crawford adds another jewel to his legacy or finally passes the torch. Either way, the fans win, because this is the kind of fight that brings boxing back to life.
Jaron Ennis against Terence Crawford is the fight. And that can be at 54, it can be at 60. You know, obviously we've got Lima to take care of first, but that for me is one of the great, crossover fights, because Boots is the changing of the guard guy. And Crawford's the guy that's been there and done it all and just proved, that he's still very...
So Roy Jones Jr. basically said Boots has the full package, but his chin is still a mystery. Then Timothy Bradley jumped in saying, hold on, don't get carried away. Crawford still has mountains to climb. I love that, because Bradley always keeps it real. Bud may be great, but greatness doesn't come easy. Killers like Benavidez Jr. and even the puzzle master Bivol would put that to the test.
Back to Benavidez. Damn, if Benavidez come back down to 168, man, that's another crazy matchup for Terence Crawford. Because, again, look, with the skill set of Crawford and everything else he brings, right? These guys have skills too, and they bigger than he is. See, and that's...
And there's truth in what Bradley says. Crawford beating Canelo was like pulling the sword of power from a stone. But if he keeps chasing giants at 168 or higher, the danger becomes almost mythical. Still, this isn't about whether Bud can win. It's about how he does it. He's outsmarted fighters who look like they were built in a lab. And that's what fans love. The thrill of risk and brilliance combined. So while Bradley might sound like he's throwing cold water on Crawford's celebration, he's really just turning up the heat. When a former champion says Bud could actually lose if he plays with fire against those monsters, you know the fight is real, and it will define his legacy.
Crawford can go down and face that dude, bro. Man, whoo. Crawford's legacy. Everybody will be tuning in just to see Terence Crawford's greatness, because he's a mega star now. So it don't matter who Terence fight. Everybody gonna be tuning in to see the greatness of...
I also loved how Bradley playfully called out Floyd, telling him to relax and just enjoy the show. I've never seen a sit down like that before. In the end, Crawford stands in a rare position where the whole boxing world will tune in, win, lose, or draw, just to see if he can solve the problems no one else dares to face. And really, isn't that what makes boxing so beautiful? The fights aren't supposed to be easy. It's the grand stage where you either make history or lose it all because you had the courage to fight the one everyone told you not to. That's why we can't look away.
Fight. Yeah, on this channel, if you stay tuned on this channel, y'all know that Big Ball was a miracle fight. Yeah, he's a miracle fight. Terence Crawford may need a miracle beating that dude right there. Styles make fights. I tell you folks all the time, Styles makes fights. That's what it is. And B-Ball got the style to give Terence Crawford fits. He got the size to give him fits. He got the footwork to give him fits. He got the jab.
Now, after Bradley cooled things down, it felt like fight night all over again when Coach Calvin Ford started dropping bombs. The man didn't even flinch. He flat out said Crawford could have stopped Canelo, but chose to be humble about it. Think about that. The pound-for-pound king sparring with Canelo like it's a pickup game, saying, "All right, champ, I'll let you walk out with your pride intact." That's not just fight IQ. That's fighting with purpose. And Calvin wasn't wrong. When Canelo was stuck in the matrix, Throwing everything but the kitchen sink, Crawford was reading it all like last night's Twitter feed.
No, I say it's not crazy because I predicted. I said Canelo was going to get old in the ring that night. No disrespect to Crawford. He did a good. Crawford could have stopped him. He could have. Me being a coach and watching how the fight was going on, he could have stopped him. And I know he's saying it in his mind, but he was being humble of Canelo. He was being humble, and it was a great fight, and it was good talk.
And Calvin didn't hesitate for a second when he crowned him. He said Bud is this generation's guy. The one carrying the torch after Floyd. Then he dropped the wildest what-if of all time. Floyd versus Crawford. Even just as an exhibition. Be honest, we'd all pay good money to see that. Forget the Logan Paul shows. Give us Bud and Floyd playing chess with gloves on. The best part? Calvin made it sound like Crawford didn't just win. He evolved into the ultimate boxer boss. That's why we love these breakdowns. Because they remind us that real power isn't always about finishing the fight. Sometimes it's about knowing you could end at any time, but choosing to teach instead. That kind of dominance hits different.
Generation from Floyd's generation to this generation didn't get to see it come. That's just like we never get to see Michael Jordan play, right? But we remember when he used to play. Come on. So.
Or seeing all these crazy exhibitions, maybe we see Floyd and Terence in an exhibition. That'd be something crazy as well.
Just to have two great guys that completed a lot of things in their life of boxing and come together and just...
So that's it, everyone, from Boots calling out Bud, to Bozy firing back, Roy and Bradley dropping their takes, and Coach Calvin Ford saying Crawford basically let Canelo borrow pity. It's been pure chaos in the best way. Every opinion just adds more fuel to the fire, making this whole debate electric. It all comes down to one question. Is Crawford unbeatable? Or was Boots made to finally crack the code? That's the beauty of boxing: legacy, pride, and the moment when the torch is passed. Now it's your turn. Drop your thoughts below. Bud or Boots? Who really has the edge? And could Crawford risk it all against the Giants once more? As Bradley said, let's start the debate. It's the best way to keep the fight alive. See you next time.